WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Friday, September 19th, 2025. Been a great week so far. Going to finish it up with the fastest 2 hours in sports. Later on, the two-pack for sure, where I give you my 2 NFL picks. So far, 1-3 on the season, but I'll get better. In my survivor pool, though, on ESPN, I'm 3-0. Took the Bills yesterday, so I'm rolling along with that. Hope you're all doing well. Met fans, Yankee fans, you have to be happy today. The Mets with the victory yesterday over the Padres 6-1. Yankees with a victory over the Orioles 7-0. But today, the most important moment of this day, I want you all to take just a second out of your day to send best wishes to Yummy. It's Rick DiPietro's birthday today. You know how old he is? He's accomplished so much, and he's accrued so much money, and he's just 44 years old. Major morning drive star in radio, former number 1 pick in the NHL draft, former Islander, big money contract, and today he's 44. Happy birthday, my friend. And may you live as long as you want, but never have to want as long as you live. And we are set up for the upcoming Couchcast, which is a week from this Monday, that we are going to ignore everybody else on the station. We're going to sit next to each other on the couch. We'll only engage with each other. And then it'll bring up the old tired refrain, what do they have in common? Rick's 20 years younger than him. They have nothing in common. You're jealous. You just don't know. You just don't know. Like to get some feedback, too, on how you're enjoying the video aspect of the show on YouTube. And if you have not listened throughout the week, I don't know why you haven't, but just go to the ESPN New York app, which is a great app. You can listen to the show on that. And you see the tile that it says YouTube. Click on that, baby. Subscribe, and then you could watch Yummy and Rothenberg. You could watch Bart and Carlin. You could watch me. You could watch Don Hahn and Rosenberg. All like just having a television station dedicated to the great shows on this radio station. I'm excited about what's happened this week. Hope you're enjoying it as well. Now, we've had a lot of guests this week. A lot. And I love it, each and every one of them. But I said, I need to talk to my co-host more as we finish the week. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to hit on. So I didn't book anybody today. Could have. Had 4 people begging me, can I come on the show today, talk about that? No. Today's the co-host turn. So many guests, so great, such good information throughout the week. But I wanted to save one day for all of you. So let me give you the number right now, because that's the number where you could become the co-host. 1-800-919-3776. Good? Great. Got it. There we go. We're going to start with Diamond Notes, brought to you by our good friends at London Jewelers. And I'm sitting back, and I'm thinking, both of these teams are making the playoffs. I keep telling you this about the Mets. I know a lot of Met fans are very nervous. And I thought taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres was gigantic. Padres are a good team. And the Mets beat them 2 out of 3. That's a move in the right direction. But the bottom line is we are running out of games in baseball. And the teams that are chasing the Mets, I'm sorry, simply aren't good enough. Arizona didn't play yesterday, so they're still 2 games back in the loss column with 9 games left to play. Reds did play yesterday, and they won 1-0 over the Cubs. Hunter Green, complete game 1 hitter. So they remain 2 games back of the Mets. And then the Giants lost to the Dodgers 2-1, and the Giants are 76 and 77, so they're 3 games back of the Mets. I don't see it happening. Now, as for the Yankees, they beat the Orioles 7-0. Max Fried has become the Max Fried from earlier this year. He has more wins than anybody in baseball at 18. Been great. He's been great, and I give him credit. So over the last 8 starts, he has a 1.60 ERA. And yesterday against the Orioles, he went 7 innings, struck out a career-high tying 13 batters, and another win for the Yankees, another loss for the Blue Jays. So the Yankees are now 3 games back of the Blue Jays for first place in the American League East. But before you get too giddy about that, I don't think that's happening. I just don't. Toronto has a tougher schedule. Yankees have 6 games left with the Orioles, 3 games with the White Sox. The White Sox shouldn't be a problem. I don't think the Orioles are going to roll over and play dead as much as they did yesterday against Max Fried. I just don't. So I think those 6 games are going to be tough. And remember, Yankees are not just 3 games out. Yankees are 4 games out. And the reason for that is they got whipped in the season series by Toronto. So Toronto has the tiebreaker. So if they both finish with the same record, Toronto gets the American League East. The Yankees don't. You think they can make up 4 games in 9 games? I don't think they can. But the good thing from yesterday, one of the good things, the Red Sox lost again. So the Yankees are building up a really nice lead on the Red Sox. So they have 3 games over the Red Sox with 9 left to play, and the Red Sox do not have as easy a schedule as the Yankees. So I think the Yankees are getting close to locking in the number 1 seed. And if you talk to some Red Sox people, I have friends that are Red Sox fans. Yes, I do. They're starting to get a little worried that they're even going to hold on. Cleveland doesn't lose. Cleveland beat Tarek Skubal yesterday. There's a chance the Red Sox could drop out of the playoffs. The worst thing that happened to the Red Sox, everybody, and I know Yankee fans aren't going to feel sorry for them, it comes down to this. Roman Anthony was a really big part of that team. And when he had that oblique injury, that's it. They're not the same team by any stretch of the imagination. Yankees went in there, took 2 out of 3. The A's took 2 out of 3. Not good. They need Roman Anthony, and they're not going to get him back until the postseason. If the postseason, the wild card on Tuesday would be 4 weeks after he got hurt. And the injury is a 4 to 6 week injury. So I wouldn't feel too good right now. They're still a good enough team. They have good enough pitching, but we'll see. There's a danger that they could drop out. So we've been thinking and stressing and wondering, the Yankees and the Red Sox in the first round in the wild card. It might not be that. Could be Houston. Could be Seattle. Outside chance could be Texas. Could be Cleveland. There's so many different permutations. So don't lock into that. The thing you want to lock into, and I know we gave you the stats earlier this week that it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to have home field. I still think it's a big deal to have those 3 games at Yankee Stadium. The Mets will not have the 3 games at Citi Field. The Mets are going to have the 3 games, looks like, in L.A. I don't like their chances. So the thing that I was thinking about today with both teams winning and moving closer to clinching a postseason spot, who's starting for you? Who's going to start those 3 games? Now, we'll start with the Yankees. A couple of people brought up yesterday, well, maybe you save Rodon for Game 3. And then that third starter you put in Game 2. I think you want to put away the team after 2 games. You really do. And then your third starter could start Game 1 of the ALDS. So here's the way I would go. I'd go Fried in Game 1. I would go Rodon in Game 2. And I think I would go Schlittler in Game 3. I just don't like what I see of Luis Heel so far. And I know the numbers have been good. He's walking too many people. Now, you could say, well, Michael, Schlittler walked 5 guys in his game. Yeah, and that was his worst start, walk-wise, this year. So I still go with him because his stuff is more dynamic. The thing that I'm battling with is I think his dynamic stuff would play better in the bullpen than Luis Heel. So I look at Luis Heel, and I go, if he's not starting game 3, why even put him on the roster? Because I don't think you're going to see him coming out of the bullpen. Do you want a guy coming out of the bullpen who's going to walk people to that rate? That scares me. That's why I think my 3 starters might not be the Yankees' 3 starters. I think the game 3 starter could be Luis Gil. Yankees' decision, not Michael Kay's decision. Because I think they look at Cam Schlittler and go, be nice to take out of the bullpen a guy who throws 99 to 100 miles an hour and bring him into a game. Maybe in the 5th inning if the starter falters. You can give us some length and then get us to the high leverage guys. I think that's the way the Yankees are going to go. I think that's the way the Yankees are going to go. Now, as for the Mets, they're a little bit more complicated. So in a perfect world, they have everything clinched by next weekend when they're playing in Miami. Everything clinched. But if they don't, and they have to win those games to get into the postseason, all of a sudden your dream of having Nolan McLean start game 1, it's gone. Because he's probably starting next Sunday to get in. That's why this nail-biting stuff that the Mets have been doing and playing so poorly for 3 months, it's going to get them into this situation where those games against the Marlins become must-wins. And if they become must-wins, then you are emptying your tank with your best pitchers. So let's say that they have it clinched before Sunday, that they're in. Well, here's what I would do. Nolan McLean would start game 1. David Peterson would start game 2. And game 3, to me, would be Brandon Sproat. Now, he's starting tonight against the Nationals. We'll see how he does. Jonah Tong pitched great yesterday. But he's so young, and he's had some bad moments too. But he did rebound from a bad start where couldn't get out of the first inning and pitched really well yesterday, 5 innings against the Padres. A team that doesn't do that well against fastballs, so he was pounding them with the fastball. I'm not going to trust him in a winner-take-all game in game 3 or in any of the 3. And I'm not trusting Manaea, and I'm not trusting Holmes. So that would be my starting 3. McLean, Peterson, who worries me. And then I am going to shock everybody and go with Brandon Sproat. Now, if you're worrying and wondering and hoping, well, how about Kodai Senga? Did you see what Senga did yesterday at AAA? 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and he threw 81 pitches, just 46 strikes. He's not even close to being ready. I don't think he's going to be activated. There's no way you could put him on a playoff roster pitching this way. You can't. There's no way. But I think it's going to be interesting to figure out their rotation. And one other thing, everybody, we can't even definitively say, well, this is going to be the starting 3 because we have to see who they're facing. Now, it looks like the Mets are going to face the Dodgers, so that's why I picked those 3 that I picked. Who are the Yankees going to face? Is it going to be a team that's more susceptible to breaking balls? Is it going to be a team that's more susceptible to fastballs? Those are part of the decision as well. That's why you can't make anything definitive. We could just have fun 9 days away or 9 games away. Well, those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today. And if there's 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. 1-800-919-3776. We'll talk football later on. We'll make our picks as well. A lot of stuff to hit on. And let's go to the phones. Let's get you involved. Let's go to Timothy in Carolina to start it off.
Hey, Michael. How's it going? First time, long time.
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Everybody's focused right now on Volpe and the bullpen, and for good reason. And even though we're not winning the division, I want just to focus on the positives here for a second. Wanted to give a shout-out to Max Fried. I mean, he's just been nails, a true ace for us, especially without Garrett Cole. Will Warren, 31 starts for us this year. I've seen him get beat up a little bit, but his record's 8-7. I think I saw the other night, when he starts, they've won 18 games, which is the 4th most in the AL. Cam Schlittler's been great. So I'd like to just give a shout-out to all those guys in the pitching. And my question, I guess, is, how do you feel about the starting pitching heading into the playoffs? Do you think Will Warren, I just heard you talking about the rotation, do you think Will Warren gets a shot at the start? And, if we had Cole this year, maybe we hit 100 wins. So I just wanted to focus on the positives. And, yeah.
Well, it's refreshing, Timothy. You usually don't get a focus on the positive phone call. I've been impressed with Will Warren. He's going to end up, with 32 starts, not missing a start. This guy was not going to be in the rotation. He's going to be at AAA. But the injuries to Cole and to Heel, that did it and gave him an opportunity, and he grabbed it. So you see, you say you've seen him beaten up. He's only been beaten up in about 3 games out of the 30 starts he's made. So it's not bad, and that's a kid. So you could pencil him in at some point in the future. I don't think you pencil him in to a start in the postseason. I think you probably have him in the bullpen, maybe as a long guy, maybe. But when we talk and say, well, is Heel any value coming out of the bullpen? The Yankees are not in a position right now where they have people in the minor leagues that you could put in the bullpen if you don't put a starter on the postseason roster. This is what it is. The only guy in the bullpen that could be used that's in the minor leagues right now is Bird. And the fact that they haven't called him up, Jake Bird, who they acquired from the Rockies, shows you that he's not close to being ready. So I think any starter that doesn't make it, you know what? They're not going to make it. They'll just go into the bullpen because it's not like, okay, we've got this hard thrower waiting down at AAA that we could plug in and play for the postseason. No, I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. Let's go to David in Connecticut. David.
Michael.
Hey,
First
David.
time, long time. Listen, I agree with everything you said about the Yankees. You're spot on as always. But I want to talk about it real quick. I met you in Boston. You're coming off the bus at the Red Sox game, and we talked for a few minutes. You were so gracious. And any time at 1 o'clock, I'm putting you on the radio. You are the best in the business, without a doubt. And I just want to thank you for. I used to watch you on MSG late '90s, and you were always the best. And I really, really enjoy listening to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I always feel a little uncomfortable when people compliment you for being a human being. People stop you and they're fans. Why wouldn't you talk with them? I mean, nobody could be that pressed for time that you couldn't talk with people that actually consume what you do and help you make a living. So I feel awkward, and I don't know what to say when people thank me for being, a decent human being? Now, with ball players, it's a different story, I guess. They get stopped, it's going to be an hour. And they got to sign everything, and the one thing they don't sign, that they're the biggest jerk in the world. But me, if a fan wants to stop me and talk about the Yankees, well, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? Let's go to Michael in Sarasota. Michael,
it is a pleasure to get to talk to you right now. First-time caller. I've always watched you on Center Stage back in the day, the broadcasts that you've done. But once I started listening to your podcast, you really hit with the points that you make. And you kind of already answered my first question on the bullpen and what the Yankees might be able to do with that, with the studs that they have that are coming up with the starting. But I want to comment on and ask you about why sometimes it seems like the Yankees cannot hit their way out of a paper bag. And if you think that has to do with the way that they're trained as they're coming up to hit the bottom third of the ball and just go for home runs. What do you think on that?
Well, I think that could be part of the problem, Mike. I think when you look at Anthony Volpe and the problems that he's had, it is because of the fact that he's trying to hit the ball in the air. He's trying to hit the ball out, and he does have 19 home runs. If you stood next to Anthony, he's not a really big guy. He's not thin by any stretch. He's not a big person. So the fact that he has 19 home runs, it's what the Yankees teach in the minor leagues. And sometimes you could shut down a home run hitting team with great pitching. You could shut down a singles hitting team with great pitching. I think that we look at the Yankees through a different prism because, I'm doing the Yankees, you're a Yankee fan. So you say, well, sometimes they can't hit themselves out of a paper bag. I think they're in the top 2 in runs per game. They score as many runs as any team in baseball. They have more home runs than any team in baseball by a lot over the Dodgers. So I think their offense is not the issue. You are going to get shut down every now and then. And the one thing that shuts the Yankees down is when you keep them in the ballpark. If they don't hit home runs, they don't win. Yesterday, though, They didn't hit a home run, and they won. But I told you the stat, and this is the stat that the Yankees live by. When the Yankees hit 2 or more home runs in a game, they win over 70% of the time. That's their calculus. That's their formula. They're going to live and die with it. And last year, they lived and died with it until Game 5 of the World Series. And this year, they're going to make the playoffs again with that formula. That's the way they're built. And sometimes they will get shut down. So, when you say they can't hit themselves out of a paper bag, well, they seem like they hit out of more paper bags than they don't. Again, because they're at the top of baseball, scoring runs per game. I think they've had 25 games, I might be off by one, where they've scored 10 or more runs in a game. Think about that. 25 out of 162 games, they would have scored 10 or more runs. And that also bulks up the, runs per game stat as well. They're going to get shut out. They're going to get shut down, but that happens to any team. That's just the way baseball is. Andrew in Medford. Andrew.
Hey, Michael. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm good. Beautiful day, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice here in Baltimore, too.
Nice. Yeah, not too far away. I wanted to talk about the Yankees because they were inconsistent, of course, as you know, this year. And I think a lot that had to do with it was them to adjust into offensive strategies. And it's so funny what you were just talking about because that's what I wanted to talk about. I know they live and die by the home run ball. I know like Judge and Stanton have a great stat when they home run too. Mm-hmm. But when the postseason comes, do you feel like they have to adjust with these offensive strategies more? Because they're going to be facing aces and, they're not giving up home runs much. And the Yankees, even though they lead the league in home runs, they're not even in the top 10 in average and hits. So I would figure small ball would have to be a big part of it because it's the playoffs. It's elimination, do or die, And you figure they got Caballero and Chisholm, who have high stolen bases, averages here. And you want to get them on, and maybe a little small ball can fill in for games if they don't, hit home runs and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew. I just don't think you could make that change in the playoffs and all of a sudden become a different team. They are what they are. They're built to hit home runs. They're a home run hitting team. If they don't hit home runs in the postseason, they're not going to win. So they're not going to all of a sudden develop into a small ball hitting team. They're not a good bunting team. For the most part, they're not a high average team. The highest average on the team belongs to Judge, who looks like he's going to win the batting title. So, no, I don't think you could adjust like that. That's why the people that build teams in an analytic way say they build teams for 162 games, and then after that it's a crapshoot. And I would give you one little bit of a number that could assuage your fears, Anthony, and it's this. They've done the work on it. So let's say, and I'm throwing this out, this is not the exact stat, that during the season, 45% of runs scored come via the home run. Again, that's not the stat, but I'm just trying to prove a point. 45% of runs scored via the home run. In the playoffs, that stat goes up to like 49% of runs scored come via the home run. So when you say you see the best pitching and it's hard to hit home runs against them, well, what the analytic people would tell you, well, it's also hard to hit 4 singles against those pitchers too. That you have a better chance of that great pitcher making that one mistake that you hit out. So they are not going to deviate from their style of play. They're not going to become a small ball team. They're not going to be hitting and running, and they're not going to be bunting. Now, they do have speed, so if Jazz Chisholm gets on, he's got over 30 stolen bases, they'll have him run. If Anthony Volpe gets on, if Caballero gets on, they'll have them run. But in terms of like doing the little things like you're talking about, you're almost like fantasizing about 1970s baseball. Not going to happen. And it's awfully hard to get a group of 26 men to change the way they play the game when the calendar moves to October. It's not going to happen. The Yankees are going to hit home runs and win or not hit home runs and lose. And that's the formula in the regular season, and that's going to be the formula in the postseason. It's just the way it is. I know you don't want to hear that, and I think that everybody blames, their early exits from postseasons in the past because they couldn't hit home runs. Well, if they're not going to hit home runs, they're not going to win. And they hit home runs in the World Series, and they end up losing, too. The defense got them. And the lack of fundamentals. That's what got them. I will continue to talk about this. Hey, ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel has got you a boost that you don't want to miss. It's called Boosting with the Boys, and it's giving everyone a college football profit boost every single week. So here's how it works. Each week, they're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No opt-in gymnastics, no invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/K to download the app, check out the Boostin' with the Boys offer, and get in on the action. 21 plus, physically present in New York, opt-in required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Friday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Can the Giants pull off an upset of the Chiefs? Will Tyrod Taylor lead the Jets to victory in Tampa?
Even if Tyrod Taylor were to lead them to a victory, I would be very surprised if he stayed in a job with a healthy Justin Fields.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees, and it should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Included with every tire purchase with paid installation, you'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's a limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We all turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
At Garden City Mazda, discover more about what moves you.
Our fall kickoff savings start now. Don't miss out.
Our inventory of new and Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Embrace every unexpected turn with the new 2025 Mazda lineup. Refined performance. Spacious interiors to fit your life. Elevate your driving experience.
Garden City Mazda. Exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino and Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino and Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So, Giants going to beat the Chiefs. They're on Sunday Night Football this week. Giants have the 32nd ranked defense in all of football. Now, this is a compromised Kansas City team. It's pretty much Patrick Mahomes being Superman. They don't have any dynamic receivers, and Kelsey is not as great as he used to be. Still a viable force, but he's not at the Hall of Fame caliber that he was 3-4 years ago. And we're not sure yet if Andrew Thomas is going to play. Brian Dable said that he is a game-time decision. The Bills beat Miami yesterday, so the Bills are 3-0. So the Jets better start winning in that division real soon. And the Jets will be going to Tampa Bay to try to get their first win, and they'll be doing it with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. Is that going to be enough? Can they stop Baker Mayfield? Now, the one advantage that they have is that the Bucs offensive line is kind of banged up. But we'll make our picks a little bit later on in the two-pack for sure segment at the end of the show. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Jimmy in Staten Island. Jim?
Mike, is it all right if I talk some Mets here? Because it's like Yankeeography.
Of course.
Mike, I agree with you with the kids. Because you might as well take a shot, because I don't like their chances against the Dodgers either. But Peterson, he's had it, Mike. He's way over his innings limits from last year. He's running out of gas. And I think Manaya's figured it out. And I like the combination of Holmes and Manaya for a game if they need him in the third game.
Really? So, I mean, I agree that Peterson doesn't look the same, Jim. So you're going to – I mean, Holmes is kind of hit or miss, don't you think?
Yeah, but if Manaya starts – a little bit, the next couple of starts, you can make him go 5-6 innings. Like, just keep Holmes for a couple innings, then go to the bullpen. I would start relying. It all depends on if Manaya, what he looks like these next two starts, because I think he's got it back. And I agree, throw the kids out there. Maybe instead of wetting the bed, maybe they just don't know what the hell they're into, and they give us a good outing.
I agree with you on that, Jimmy, because I'll be honest, if the kids don't pitch well, they have no chance to go far anyway. I mean, that's their pitching staff. The kids have saved their season. If they didn't bring up these three guys, and when they did, they'd be done. If they kept running Senga out there, they'd be done. But when you say you think Manaya has found it, yeah, okay, but he's looked good at times when he starts, but then when he gets to a certain inning, he kind of like changes back. So if you do have him pitch more than 5 innings, what's he going to give you? Now you've lost Reed Garrett out of the bullpen too. So how are you going to get up to Diaz? I see Diaz giving him 2-inning saves a lot, or at least trying to, because I think Mendoza's desperate. Does he want to run Helsley out there in a big situation? But I do agree with what Jimmy said essentially. The Mets are going to live and die with McClain and Sproat and maybe even Tong. And I understand his reticence about Peterson. I'm not going to argue with him about that. I just think that there's something in there. The guy did go to the All-Star game this year. Maybe he needs a little bit of a reset. And one fly in the ointment from Manaea, they're going to do the same thing this Sunday against the Nationals. This is the last regular season homestand of the year. They're going to do the same thing on Sunday against the Nationals, but Manaea's let the team on paternity leave. They don't know if he's going to get back. So that could be a little bit of a crimp in what they're trying to do. They start Holmes then, and they'd have to then piece it together out of the bullpen the way they have been. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Gooch in Queens. Gooch.
Hey, Mr. K, I got a question for you. Mike,
you got it.
What do you think with Cabrera and Volpe in the lineup last night? If they're both on, I think it's good. I think that could help. They could
You
get
mean Caballero? Okay,
yeah.
So that means you don't want to play McMahon.
Yeah, if you're in trouble in the 7th inning, you put him in for defense. What do you think?
I like Caballero. I do. I like what he brings, but he also brings some negatives as well because he runs crazy on the bases. I think they love McMahon's defense so much, and if you're going to start Fried in Game 1, there's going to be a lot of ground balls to third. Same thing with Rodon in Game 2, a lot of ground balls to third. Now, I'm not saying Caballero is not a good defender, but McMahon is a great defender. So do you want to go with good or do you want to go with great? Now, I think Caballero gives you more offensively than McMahon. McMahon has not been a good hitter. His entire career, he hasn't been a good hitter. This is who he is. Maybe they could work something with him over the winter, straighten out his swing a little bit, maybe get him a little bit better, maybe have him hit 25 home runs, maybe. But he's going to be in there because he is a top-flight plus defender. Top flight. And also, Rosario played yesterday as they gave Chisholm the night off against Povich, the lefty. You know what Rosario's done as a Yankee? Do you know? He's 10 for 25. 4 of the 10 extra base hits. He has an 859 OPS against left-handed pitching. That's all year. That's why I say when you rate what they did at the trade deadline, I think Cashman did a great job overall. Obviously getting Doval and getting Bird, that didn't work out. Bednar worked out great. Rosario's worked out great. Caballero's worked out great. I mean, those are good pickups. And we'll see what they do with Austin Slater. He hasn't had that much of a run. But it was a very, very good trade deadline because they improved one of the things they needed to improve. The bench was terrible. It didn't give Boone any maneuverability. Let's go to our buddy Ira in Staten Island. He wants to talk some Jets. Ira.
Hey, Michael. How are you, Michael?
How are you? That's what I want to ask.
Everything's good. Good to hear you. Looking forward to that Monday night when you guys are going to be that simulcast, whatever you guys are doing. But,
that should be fun.
With the Buck game, yeah, it should be fun. So with the Buck game, listen, I get they're banged up, but I just don't see, with what I've seen from this defense in 2 games, how they're going to hold the Bucks under 24, 27, 30 points. I just don't see it. And that's the most disappointing thing. I get it was all about Fields and whether we have a head coach and what they're going to do offensively. But my biggest disappointment is right now this defense looks lost. And that's just really concerning considering Aaron Glenn's a defensive coach.
That is a little concerning. I mean, the Jets as a whole, Ira, concern me a little bit. Their offense disappeared against the Bills. It was really good and surprising against the Steelers. But in both games, the defense was terrible. Is the defense going to be able to take advantage of a banged-up offensive line of the Bucs, and will they be able to stop a guy who's gritty and gutty and just knows how to win? And that's Baker Mayfield. I make the 2 picks at the end of the show on Friday, and I'm going back and forth in the Jets. I don't want to touch that game. I remember when Don and I first started making picks on the afternoon show, we forced ourselves to make picks on the New York teams. But they're so bad. They've been so bad. They're hard to pick. They're hard to pick. So I don't know what to tell you, Ira. I'm just as confused as you are with this team. You talk about culture and stuff like that. I kind of laugh at that. I mean, you want to have a good culture. Culture is important. Culture does drive things. But you know what the most important thing is? Good players. They have to have good players. They don't have enough good players. Even if you have a crappy culture, if you're the team with the most good players, you know what? You're going to win, even with a bad culture. So you can talk culture. I'm going to get rid of this guy, that guy. Get me players. Get me good defenders. If you get me good defenders, maybe they'll, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Good players or culture? Culture or good players? I don't think a great culture can turn an average player into a great player. I think a great player in a bad culture could still succeed. Game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7:05 p.m., the Yankees are in Baltimore to play the Orioles. At 7:10, the Mets host the Nationals at Citi Field. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 p.m., and that'll be right here on ESPN, 880 ESPN. And the Yankee game in Baltimore, you can watch that on the Yes Network. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. We'll come back with more of your phone calls. A very special future Hall of Famer has retired or will retire at the end of the year. And when you look at his numbers, you realize how special he is. Hey, the right mattress helps you sleep at night. The right price helps you sleep even better. Hi, it's Michael Kay. I trust my friends at PC Richard & Son. They're local, family-owned, and listen, they won't just sell you a mattress. Their experts walk you through a 4-step fitting process so your bed actually fits you. Now, that's what I call service, which is kind of their thing. Get top brands like Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, all at the guaranteed lowest prices, plus fast and free delivery. Sleep better with PC Richard & Son, the local company that you can trust. Free delivery of mattresses, $199 and up, excludes Manhattan. Shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Why watch alone when you can join the crowd? Ryder Cup Live is taking over New York's favorite bars and pubs with official watch parties all weekend long. From upscale lounges to classic Irish pubs, you'll catch every swing and putt in a club-level atmosphere surrounded by fellow fans. Cheer, toast, and rally behind your team at the hottest Ryder Cup watch spots across Manhattan. Ryder Cup Live, because the best games are watched together. To learn more, visit RyderCup.com.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
You can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Out here, it's football season, where nothing beats backyard grilling, gathering around the fire pit, and cheering on your favorite team with friends. The yard is mowed, the lights are strung, and the grill is warming up. Whether you need to fill up your propane, get a new grill, or even a generator, out here, it's game day. And we're ready for it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Ha-ha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Woo! Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
This Ryder Cup, if you can't make it to Bethpage, then this is the place to be. Join the Michael K. Show, broadcasting live from 1 to 3 p.m. at Ryder Cup Live from Rockefeller Center, Midtown Manhattan's ultimate golf fan fest. Experience massive video boards, interactive golf challenges, themed cocktails, official Ryder Cup gear, and the electric energy of golf's greatest rivalry. From Thursday through Sunday, it's all happening in the heart of New York City. The Michael K. Show, live from Ryder Cup Live. Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup.
All right, so yesterday, Clayton Kershaw says he's going to retire at the end of this season. And, you hear Clayton Kershaw go, oh, he's a great player. But then, you take a deep dive, and he's probably greater than he's given credit for. So 18 big league seasons, 11-time All-Star. He's 37 years old. Check out this record. He's 222-96. That's a 2.54 ERA. He's a two-time world champion in 2020 and 2024. First ballot. And I wonder who's voting against him. I mean, there was some clown that voted against Jeter, so I guess somebody could vote against Kershaw. But Kershaw's unbelievable. And I think that he probably doesn't get as much love as he should because the second half of his career has been derailed a lot by injuries. But when you look at a guy who has doubled his loss total, 222-96, that's extraordinary. And he has 18 shutouts thrown in there as well when nobody throws complete games anymore. He's amazing. He is amazing, and he's been amazing in our time, and I wonder if we give him enough credit. That's the scary part. Has he gotten enough credit? Hey, the Ryder Cup is in New York, and Midtown Manhattan will become golf's biggest stage. Ryder Cup Live at Rockefeller Center transformed the heart of New York City into an epic fan zone during every single round. Fans can also see my show, The Michael K. Show, broadcast live Thursday, September 25th from 1 to 3 p.m. Don't miss this show, The Michael K. Show, at Ryder Cup Live in Rockefeller Center. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter how or no matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. Official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. So, Michelob Ultra is a sponsor. And Paul O'Neill turned me on to a show on Paramount Plus that I kind of looked at and I said, do I really want to watch it? And he said, you got to watch this. It's unbelievable. And I've been watching Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. And he's always drinking the Michelob Ultra in the show. And it's extraordinarily good, everybody. If you have the time, it's 10 episodes. I'm 8 in. So I got 2 more to go. It's just great. And Billy Bob Thornton is unbelievable. What an actor. I mean, you believe that he is that guy. So if you have the time, and I know there's a lot of sports going on, college football, baseball, going to be pennants, going to be playoff baseball, NFL, I get it. But if you have time, if you have a long flight, Landman's really, 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 really good. Really good. Let's go to Anthony in Comac. Anthony.
Michael, how's everything?
Good. How are you doing?
I know you talked about it with Don for years about you calling a playoff game. I know you've done it on the radio, on TV. This is your chance. The wild card is on ESPN. You do an ESPN series every year. To get the main broadcast, they need to put you on the Yankee series. You have to make it happen. This is your chance.
Well, Anthony, unfortunately, they don't like to put anybody who broadcasts regular season games on a series where the team that you broadcast during the regular season is playing. Like Dave O'Brien is one of ESPN's announcers, and he's great. They will not put him on a Red Sox series. So they wouldn't put me on a Yankee series. And with the Yankees looking as if they're going to get in as a wild card, I have responsibilities to the S Network to do pre- and post-game for them. So would I love to maneuver it? Yes. But ESPN is strictly against putting, a local team's announcer, who's one of their announcers, on a series that involves the Yankees. Although they're probably going to put the Sunday Night Baseball crew on the Yankees series. And David Cohn, obviously, is one of our announcers. But, David does about 40 games for Yes, and I do 135. So I think that would be something that they would make an exception. But for the play-by-play guy, they wouldn't. I mean, you'd be amazed at how picky some of these teams are when it comes to, the announcers that are chosen to do the national games. Because last year I did the Astros series. And from what I heard, the Astros were not happy. And they weren't even playing the Yankees. I did the Astros series on ESPN, and they complained. The Astros organization complained to Major League Baseball and to ESPN. Why is the Yankee guy doing our series? I like Yankee Boy better than the Yankee guy, but you know what I'm saying. So that's how sensitive they are. So if the Yankees are playing, I don't know, maybe it's the Astros again. You think Jim Crane would like the fact that the Yankee announcer would be doing play-by-play on the national broadcast when he didn't even like it when it wasn't the Yankees? It wasn't even the Yankees he didn't like it. It was the Tigers. And they complained about it, but I give credit to ESPN. Well, Yankees aren't playing. He'll be right down the middle, and I was. 1-800-919-3776. Let's see. Let's go to Nate in Albany. What's up, Nate?
Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, so I got 2 quick points. First being, I always loved Don's take on the Masters and golf, and I always thought it was hilarious. And I don't know, now that I'm entering my 30s, I've actually started really enjoying golf. So I'm kind of ashamed by that, but I also am excited about the Ryder Cup coming up in New York next week, and I think it'll be really great for the city of New York and just the sports landscape in general with playoff baseball, NFL starting up. It's going to be great.
Nate, you have to do me a favor. Yes. Please promise. Call in the Don and make that same comment. See what he says.
I know. I'm embarrassed by it, but I'm like, wow, I do enjoy the sport. And then lastly, real quick, I heard a call earlier about the Yankees not being a small ball team, but I looked into it after you gave those percentages, and you're spot on. Kind of gives me more confidence heading into the postseason. If the rotation and bullpen can do their job, you see teams scoring upwards of high 50% of their runs via the home run in the postseason. So I think if the rotation can do the job, the bullpen can hold leads. Those big time home runs are what's going to separate us. And you noticed it even last year with the Dodgers when they didn't manufacture a ton of runs, they hit the long ball and they needed to. So thanks, Michael.
Well, I love the fact that you looked that up and it's true. And I think that's what's frustrating to the analytics crowd, because there seems to be narratives that are formed that are not based on fact. It's harder to hit home runs in the postseason. Well, it's hard to get hits in the postseason, too. So the quickest way to score runs would be with one swing on one mistake rather than getting 3 doubles on 3 mistakes. And the stats prove it. I remember I used to think that same way. And then Aaron Boone, pulled me aside and had the stats. He said, look at this. In the playoffs, you score a higher percent of your runs on home runs than you do in the regular season. So this is not true. And that's why I think, I don't know if you guys agree with me, I think that the analytics people should be made available on pre- and post-game shows to speak their truth, because they've got facts behind what they're doing. So rather than let the manager sit there and drone on and try to somehow make it taste better by saying, well, it's baseball, it's a statistical decision. That's how people work on the stock market. Do they go by gut in the stock market? No. They put together stats and things like that. So I think that would behoove them, and it would further their cause if they could explain it better and have the people that are inputting these numbers and sending them down to the clubhouse. Let them explain exactly what they mean. I think that people would accept it more. So look, I just said one quick thing and I rounded off numbers, and our caller just said he looked it up and I was right. And believe me, I don't know all of the internecine decisions that are made, but I know that they're based on numbers, and numbers usually do play out. Sometimes they don't. Then you get stiffed, and then you lose, and you go home. But if you're in Vegas, you're going to bet on the numbers rather than your gut. You shouldn't hit on 16 if the dealer's showing a 2 or a 3. Your gut says, well, let me go. Maybe I'll get a 5. No. You sit. And sometimes the dealer turns over as a 9, pulls a king, and all of a sudden he has 21, and you say, why didn't I hit? Well, you didn't hit because you weren't supposed to hit. That's not the right thing to do. Building teams to win with home runs seems like the right thing to do, and there are outliers, like the Milwaukee Brewers. They're outliers. But for the most part, teams win. The teams that hit the most home runs win. Hey, New York soccer fans, get ready for a huge night at Citi Field. Wednesday, September 24th, New York City FC hosts Inter Miami. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. For your chance to be there, enter now at ESPNNewYork.com or through the ESPN New York app. Just click the contest tab and submit your entry. Don't miss your shot to catch this marquee matchup in person. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com/NYCFC. Now, when we come back, we talked about Aaron Judge being the MVP, and I think the numbers hugely favor him over Cal Raleigh. Although I'm watching the Fox pregame show yesterday, and they're talking about how, Raleigh has a real good chance, and, I think Eric Harris said he would choose Raleigh, and then MLB Network. Those guys were talking Harold Reynolds would choose Raleigh as well. And A.M. Singer said he would choose Raleigh. But the numbers do state that it should be Judge. But there are more numbers that tell you the greatness of Judge that we're probably overlooking. So stay tuned for that. Hey, right now at Bay Ridge Honda, your EV countdown to $7,500 in savings ends September 30th. Hurry in, the clock is ticking. You can get a Prologue Touring for $179 per month with 0 down during the EV Countdown sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 10,000 miles per year, $3,300 in loyalty or conquest, and $7,500 EV credit as down payment.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live. Whether you're celebrating a win or just the weekend, City Cruises is a shipload of fun. Proud partner of the New York Yankees. Book today at citycruises.com/New York.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
Well, to hit a home run, everything's got to line up perfectly, just like when you find the person you want to marry. When it's time to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. From their beautiful 2 by London collection to custom designs for any budget, they make finding the perfect ring easy. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 6 locations and tell them I sent you for the Michael K. treatment. London Jewelers, getting it just right.
Calling all basketball fans. Join Optimum and MSG Networks for a slam dunk event. Tuesday, September 23rd from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Cross Bronx Optimum Store. Meet Knicks legend John Starks. Score awesome Knicks prizes and enter to win an MSG Networks prize pack, including a signed jersey.
Hi, former New York Giant Leonard Marshall here. Please join me at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America Family Fun Day on September 27th. Bring your family to AFA's Barbara Rabinowitz Education and Resource Center in Amityville for a fun-filled day of intergenerational activities and celebration of Grandparents Appreciation Month. Learn more and register at AFA September 27th Family Fun Day by visiting www.afalongisland.org or calling 631-223-4000.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Schweppes, the iconic ginger ale of New York, is proud to sponsor the PGA of America. Schweppes has a deep lineup of ginger flavors, including raspberry, white peach, dry grape, and also available in zero sugar. With every sip of Schweppes, the dedication to quality, excellence, and the art of tastefulness will leave you feeling simply refreshed. It's a hole-in-one for all your drinking occasions. Schweppes, a sparkling tradition since 1783, and the perfect way to elevate your summer. Swing by your local ShopRite and grab some Schweppes.
Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Or maybe you're looking to save some money by refinancing your current auto loan? Check out Navy Federal Credit Union. They offer great rates on auto loans. And if you're active duty or retired military, you could get a special discount too. Applying is super simple. You could do it online or through their mobile app, and in most cases, you'll get a decision in just seconds. Not ready to buy just yet? That's okay. Refinancing your current loan with Navy Federal might help you lower your monthly payments, pay it off faster, or just save some money. And here's a nice bonus. If you refinance a loan from another lender of at least $5,000 with Navy Federal, you could get a $200 bonus. At Navy Federal, our members are the mission. Find out more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans.
Credit and collateral subject to approval. Rates are subject to change and are based on creditworthiness. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200 bonus. Terms and conditions apply. Terms and conditions apply for military discounts. Message and data rates may apply. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Welcome back, everybody. I don't know if you know this, but ESPN New York is now live like never before, streaming on YouTube. That's right, your favorite shows, DiPietro and Rothenberg, Bart and Carlin, this show, The Michael K. Show, and Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Now with live video. Interact, react, and be part of the conversation live on YouTube. Subscribe now at ESPN New York on YouTube and never, ever miss a moment. All right, so we talked about Aaron Judge yesterday, and I thought that I gave you the best statistics I could possibly give you, that Judge deserves to be the MVP over Raleigh. Now, people look at this as if you take Judge, you're disrespecting Raleigh. I think Raleigh is a terrific player, and the Mariners made a brilliant move signing him to a contract, a long-term contract before the season, and they got an MVP quality player at a very reasonable price for about 5, 6, or 7 years. I forget how long it was. I think it's 6 years. Brilliant move. And the guy's a terrific, terrific player. But is he the MVP in the American League over Aaron Judge? No, he's not. Every statistic other than the home runs and RBIs would tell you otherwise. And you say, well, aren't home runs and RBIs important? Yes. Judge still has 48 home runs. He has over 100 RBIs. But he destroys Cal Raleigh by almost 100 points in batting average, OPS, on-base percentage, slugging, walks, runs scored, WAR, both WARs, Baseball Reference and Fangraphs. I just think, and all due respect to people in the national media, they want to have a hot-button topic to talk about, and they certainly have it now. They're bored with the greatness of Judge. They are bored with him. And before anybody calls in, you're more than welcome to say whatever you like. Well, he does it in the playoffs. It's not about the playoffs. It's about the regular season. What he does in the playoffs or doesn't do in the playoffs should have no impact whatsoever if he wins the most valuable player in the American League. Imagine, I don't know, for attention or clicks or whatever, people that I respect in baseball saying, well, I think it's Raleigh because, he's such a great catcher. Really? But you had no problem last year with Ohtani running away with it when he didn't pitch and all he did was DH. But now that's the thing that's going to get a guy who loses in most every single category. You're going to give him your vote because he catches. Make that make sense. Yeah, he is a great catcher. He's a platinum glove catcher from last year. Look at his numbers this year. They're not nearly as good. Still a very good catcher, but he's not a platinum glove winning catcher. He's not going to be in 2025. And their staff is great, and he's a big part of why they're great. So I don't discount that. But for all these people that are putting so much emphasis on the catching, I'd say this. Wins above replacement take all of that into account. They take the defense into account. And Fangraphs takes into account more than Baseball Reference. That's why he's closer in WAR to Judge in Fangraphs than he is in Baseball Reference. Baseball Reference, almost two full wins above replacement. Judge is better than Raleigh. And in Fangraphs, it's about half a win, maybe a little bit more. But Paul Hembekides, who's with Greeny on Get Up and is a co-author with Greeny on a lot of best-selling books, talks about what Judge has done during his quote-unquote peak, which would be 22, 23, 24, and 25. So, top 5 right-handed hitters in the history of Major League Baseball in a 4-year peak. Number 1 is Josh Gibson. Never played in the big leagues. These stats are from the Negro Leagues. He had a 246 OPS plus. And I think it's great that the Negro League players' stats are included. All of those stats are I'm somewhat skeptical about them, how they were kept and things like that. But we accept them, so that's why Josh Gibson's number 1 on that list. Number 2 is Rogers Hornsby from 1920 through 1925. His OPS plus was 201. Aaron Judge, 207 OPS plus. Albert Pujols, his peak was 2003 to 2010, 177 OPS plus. And Frank Thomas, his peak was 91 through 97, 182 OPS plus. Judge is doing things that you don't see all that often. He's had a run like you wouldn't believe. And I think he'd be going for his 3rd straight MVP if he didn't get hurt 2 years ago. We are seeing greatness at a level now that we haven't seen in forever. But we're bored by it. We get bored by greatness. We enjoy the trip to the top of the mountain, and then we can't wait to push that person off the mountain. Cal Raleigh is extraordinarily important to the Mariners. Judge is just as important, if not more important, to the Yankees. Don't cast your vote because you're bored by the same guy winning. People don't seem to be bored by Ohtani winning. I really believe, you're going to laugh at me, the fact that he's a Yankee plays against him rather than for him. How dare a Yankee be this great? They have so much. They have the 27 championships. Why should this guy keep winning the MVP? You know why? Because he's the most valuable player in the game. That's why he should keep winning it. Do I think he should get every first place vote? No, probably don't. Do I think that he should win by a fairly sizable margin? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We are seeing greatness in real time, and we're dismissing it. Some Yankee fans are even dismissing it because of their disgust that Aaron Judge has not yet excelled in the postseason. What does that have to do with a regular season MVP? You know what? When the Yankees beat the Guardians last year in the ALCS, Stanton was the MVP. Not the regular season MVP, the MVP for that series. That's how it works. What you do in the postseason does not count towards Cy Young, MVP, batting title, none of it. So don't try to discolor his greatness because he hasn't been good in the postseason. Because go check what Ted Williams did in the postseason. Not that great. Still considered the greatest hitter ever. I was stunned by the guys in MLB Network. I was stunned by Eric Karros on the Fox pregame show. I just think they want to do and say something different. Well, 56 home runs, pretty amazing. More than any switch hitter ever. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. More than any catcher ever. Yep, get it. Tied with Griffey for the most ever. Yeah, I understand. But Judge is doing stuff that has never been done before either. But that just gets glossed over because he's a Yankee and he's won before. Let's get somebody different in here. Dumb way to look. Dumb way to look at it. Let's go to Sam in Rockland. Sam.
Thanks for taking my call. 2 points about the MVP race. First one is this. I think we can all agree if it was any other player in the league having the year Judge is having, this wouldn't even be a conversation. They were given to him blindly.
I think you're right.
The second point is this. If you want to give it to Colorado because he's breaking records, then why didn't Judge win it in 2017? He broke the rookie record, should have gotten it. If we're going by breaking records.
And it's also a great point, Sam, because I think they're resting Cal Raleigh's entire MVP candidacy on the fact that he's having a phenomenal home run year. He has 56. So Judge, I believe, in 17 had 52. A record for rookies that has since been broken by Alonso, who has 53. But 52 home runs. At that point, well, then average was more important. That's why Altuve won. They ignored Judge's 52. Altuve didn't come close to that. But then everybody, it's shape-shifting. Everybody changes what's important on a year-to-year basis. So in 2017, batting average was important. Well, this year, a guy who's going to have over 50 home runs, Judge, is going to win the batting title. Now it's not that important. He has about a 95-point advantage over Cal Raleigh. Now it's not important. And forget about 17 when you talk about the Astros. Admittedly, this is not Michael Kay talking. They admitted to the commissioner that they were stealing signs illegally. And Judge still didn't get it. Now, they can't take it away in retrospect, but if you asked Aaron Judge and you put him onto a lie detector machine, he thinks he should have won in 2017. He thinks he should have won. The guy should be stockpiling MVPs, how great he's been for a long stretch of time. Greg in Pasadena. Greg.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Greg?
I'm doing great. Hey, listen, we're down in Pasadena, Maryland, actually going to the game tonight.
Cool.
Very, very fired up about the
Pasadena,
Yankees.
Maryland?
Just at the Anne Arundel County, kind of in between Baltimore and Annapolis.
Okay.
So listen, hey, I got to tell you, Peter Rosenberg's onto something. You got to try this Royal Farms chicken while you're in Maryland.
It's that
maybe
good.
Even think about doing a Tendy review on regular bone-in chicken. But
all right, so Greg, tell me what makes it so great.
Well, I mean, first off, it's gas station chicken, so you're setting the bar extremely low, and this is competitive with like Popeyes and KFC, and possibly even some more fancier fried chicken. So I think you got to check it out. Also, just wanted to get your opinion. How big a deal is this home run record for switch hitters? Never heard of it before this week.
I mean, you can't discount it. I mean, since Mickey Mantle held the record, you break a Mickey Mantle record, that's a pretty big deal.
I'll give you that. And then finally, I wanted to give you a few points, and I hope you can take this to Flip. Joe Girardi has been tremendous with you in the booth this year. Would love to see him in there more time, and hope we can get more of that real in-depth analysis that we get from a former manager.
I thank you for that, and I told Joe that we've been getting a lot of calls and a lot of things on social media that people have really enjoyed him on the games. But then, you get a guy like the radio and TV columnist in the Post, Phil Musnick, who criticizes Joe that he talks too much. And I think that what he says has a lot of relevancy. You're the analyst. You're supposed to analyze what's going on the field. And Phil always said, well, would you want to sit next to somebody who is talking that much at a game? Well, you're not sitting next to him. He's the broadcaster. He's analyzing the game. The guy you're sitting next to is just talking, shooting the breeze with you about the game. That's not the guy you'd put on the air. So all due respect to Phil, he seems to have gotten it out early for Girardi that he doesn't like him. But every response that we get on social media, people that we respect in the business, have been calling me and calling our producer, Troy Benjamin, that they love him. But I just think broadcasting is so subjective. It really is. You might think somebody's terrific, and the other person listening to the exact same thing would go, wow, he's awful. But we're getting much more he's terrific than he's awful. Just are. He's that good. But I thank you for the compliment. And you know what? There's a Royal Farms on my way from the hotel to Camden Yards. So maybe I'll stop by, get a bucket, and I'll try it out. Because Peter Rosenberg has always said Royal Farm chickens, it's amazing. John in Bethlehem. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, Michael. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be a co-host again.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. The Boone comments that we were hearing all throughout their losing streak, where are they now? He's the same exact guy. He's not doing anything different. The players play. They win when the players play. But Boone is the same manager, right? So we don't hear very much of that, or at least I don't anymore. That's an interesting thing. Number two, would you consider Will Warren as a bullpen piece to get to some of the late inning relievers in the postseason?
Yeah, I would. Like if a starter gets knocked out early, I would have no problem going with Will Warren. I just don't think he's going to get a start. And as I said earlier about the bullpen, the guys that are not going to start, whether it be Schlittler, Heel, and Warren, it's not like they're going to be left off the roster because the Yankees don't have any plug-and-play relievers that they could send up from the minor leagues to take those spots. So I think all of those pitchers will then go into the bullpen. And then whichever way Aaron Boone sees fit, he will use them in whatever lane he feels comfortable with. You know, you mentioned Boone's the same manager. Listen, in New York, as long as you don't win, you're going to be criticized. And Yankee fans, for the most part, for years now, have had it out for Cashman and for Boone. And until they win a championship, then they're going to continue to blame them rather than the players. Do they make mistakes? Yeah, of course they make mistakes. But tell me the manager and the GM that are perfect. They don't exist. It's funny, we were just talking about Girardi. You know, Don and I were doing the show during the Girardi years. So he won in 2009. Remember, his first year, he didn't even make the playoffs in 2008. So he won in 2009. Then he never won again. Now, they got in the playoffs. His last year, they went to the ALCS Game 7 against the Astros. But people hated him. Wanted him fired. Now it's the complete opposite. The same people that used to call into me and Don and later Peter that said that Joe Girardi was the reason they were losing, now just they have this wanderlust for him. I wish we had a guy like Girardi. You hated him. You hated him. Joe's even joked to me off the air. It's amazing how much better a manager I've become since I don't manage anymore. But remember, you hated him. And the great Joe Torre, a Hall of Famer, won 4 World Series. And toward the end of his reign, we were getting phone calls about, no, how could they keep him? His time is done. People are very impatient. And I get it. That's what being a fan's about. But I've always said, are there some managers that are better than others? Yeah, sure. Are there some GMs that are better than others? Yeah, not everybody's created equal. But when it comes to a manager, if a team's not winning, I don't know, call me strange. I am strange. I kind of blame the players. Now a lot of fans, blame Boone for bringing in pitcher A from the bullpen, who's terrible, who doesn't get the job done, rather than, get this, blaming pitcher A. He's the one who didn't get it done. Maybe he was the right guy to choose at that time, and he just didn't perform. Maybe. Not defending Boone, I'm defending the whole situation. And I remember Don's comments echo in my ears. Well, then when do we blame a manager? You want me to blame Boone for something? Bring in Nestor Cortez at the end of Game 1 in the World Series instead of Tim Hill. Now you can say, well, Nestor Cortez didn't do the job. Wrong guy to bring in. And I told you in real time, I was telling Jack Curry, who I was sitting next to in the Yes Network studio, why is he doing this? Guy hasn't pitched in almost 2 months. Now you bring him into game 1, 9th inning of a World Series? Blame him on that. Do I blame him for what happened in the 5th inning in game 5? No. Aaron Judge dropped the ball. Volpe made the bad throw. Cole didn't cover first base. Well, I should be teaching them fundamentals. Ugh, really? You're in the big leagues. You should know fundamentals by the time you get up here. Just saying. But people want to blame somebody, and it's easier to blame the manager than blame the player. Just the way it is. Let's go to John in Washington.
Hey, Michael. Nice to be on the show with you, watching you, working and kind of peeking on my phone every once in a while, watching you on YouTube. Cool. So I called you a few months ago. I took my family to watch Yankees when they were in town playing the Mariners. Yep. And see, I have this conversation with friends here all the time. It's like, well, who's better? I told them, I think that Judge will probably lose out to Raleigh just because of the fatigue. But my question to you is actually, and I talked to the screen about this, why is it that the MVP is based on somebody's value to the team, but then something like the Cy Young Award voting is strictly on numbers, where you see somebody like Paul Skeens will probably win it in the National League when Suarez probably is more valuable and has better numbers?
Well, the reason is just in the name. It's the most valuable player. The Cy Young Award is for the best pitcher. So you could have a great year, team could do nothing, you still had a great year. And I think that started more than likely when Felix Hernandez won. I believe he was 13-12 that year. So they looked underneath the hood at the numbers and said, this guy's the best pitcher in baseball. It's not about the most valuable pitcher. It is about the most valuable player. That's why they use numbers in the pitching more than anything else. And if what you said is true, that you think that Raleigh's going to win just because of the fatigue, well, that's disgusting. I'm not saying you, but that's your call, that you feel that they'll do it because of fatigue. Really? Entertain yourself in another way if you're a voter. Fatigue, I don't care about fatigue. Who's the most valuable player? I don't care if he won 8 years in a row. We see it all the time in basketball. I keep bringing these two names up, Jokic and LeBron. People got tired of picking the same guy, so they want to get cute. They want to think outside the lines, and they just come up with somebody different. No, I think that's terrible. Now, if you could present, I mean, I like the argument better that how valuable he is as a catcher, rather than having your vote try to find somebody else because you're tired of Aaron Judge winning. Imagine being tired of greatness. Imagine that. It's criminal is what it is. If you think Cal Raleigh is more valuable than Judge, okay. But don't pick Cal Raleigh because you're tired of picking Judge. That's moronic. Hey, shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease a 2025 Mazda CX-5 S for as low as $239 per month, or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Friday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Can the Giants pull off an upset of the Chiefs? Will Tyrod Taylor lead the Jets to victory in Tampa?
Even if Tyrod Taylor were to lead them to a victory, I would be very surprised if he stayed in a job with a healthy Justin Fields.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
The experts at PC Richard & Son use a 4-step mattress fitting process to make sure that your new bed fits you perfectly. PC Richard & Son.
All you gotta do is put
Eric Church is back and bringing his unforgettable live show to Brooklyn. Eric Church Free the Machine Tour with special guest L. King. Barclays Center, Saturday, September 20th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss. Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Barclays Center, Saturday, September 20th.
Drink a little drink.
Get tickets now. For more, visit ericchurch.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty. New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
Empower.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee, only at Midas.
All right, so there's a follow on Twitter that has mapped out a dream scenario for the Yankees to overtake the Blue Jays. The Yankees have 9 games left. The Blue Jays have 9 games left. If the Yankees go 2-1 in this series in Baltimore, they already won the first game of 4, but if they go 2-1 the remaining 3 games, they sweep the White Sox, and then they go 2-1 in the final 3 games against Baltimore in New York, they'd be 93-69. Now let's look at the Blue Jays. They start a 3-game set with Kansas City. If they go 1-2 in that set, then they play Boston. Boston has to win, and they go 1-2 against Boston. That's in Toronto. And then they finish with Tampa Bay, and they go 1-2. So 1-2 in the remaining 3 series. They finish at 92-70, and the Yankees win the East. Now, I think the Yankees could sweep the White Sox, and certainly going 2-1 and 2-1 against Baltimore is not impossible, although Baltimore's better than you think. But I can't see the Blue Jays collapsing that way and losing every single series the rest of the way. But if you want a template, well, there's your template. There's your template to getting it done. So what's the line in Dumb and Dumber? So you're telling me there's a chance. Hey, get ready for a new Monday Night Football experience with the ESPN New York Couchcast when the Jets take on the Dolphins for the Week 4 divisional matchup. Settle in on the couch and join the Altcast with all your favorite ESPN New York personalities for instant reactions, unfiltered commentary, and behind-the-mic banter. Stream live on your YouTube page from kickoff to the final whistle. Grab your snacks and watch the game with the pros. I'll be sitting right next to Rick DiPietro, who turns 44 today. It's the ESPN New York Couchcast, presented by Calandra's Bakery, Jacob's Pickles, and driven by the All-American Ford Auto Group, the #1 Ford Auto Group with huge locations throughout New Jersey. It's Monday, September 29th, starting at 7 p.m. on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. All right, let's go back to the calls. Now, before we do, this Sunday is going to be very interesting to me because this was right in my wheelhouse. I was 14 years old when the NFL Today began on CBS in 1975. And that was Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Phyllis George, and Jimmy the Greek. And there were 2 firsts there. So Irv Cross was the first African-American to be a regular on a pregame show. Phyllis George was the first woman to ever be on a pregame show. They never had a betting guy like Jimmy the Greek, and then the pro, Brent Musburger. And I think today, even with all of the things and all of the technology that they have, I still think that was the gold standard. And I think that helped propel the NFL forward. I mean, that was a must-watch. As a 14-year-old kid, you camped yourself in front of the TV at 12:30, because it was a half-hour show then, to see the NFL Today. And this Sunday, CBS is going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that show. And Brent Musburger is going to be on set the entire time. And they're going to change the set to the old set that they had in 1975. All the old graphics and everything. I mean, that was so, things we take for granted now. It was innovative then. They had never, ever, ever had live hits from the site of all the games until the NFL Today. And now, all the time. Now, let's go to the booth. Tom Brady will break down to, whatever. That was all innovative at the NFL Today. So I give CBS credit. Brent Musburger is the only one of the 4 that are still with us. And, he had a ignominious exit in 1990 over a contract dispute. I'll always remember that. April 1st, 1990, during the Final Four. It was announced that Brent Musburger wasn't coming back. And we all thought at that time, well, it's an April Fool's joke. Well, it wasn't. Brent Musburger was that big. I know there are people out there listening right now that might not realize how big he was. Gigantic. And he's going to be on the set on Sunday, the entire show. So that should be a fun thing to watch. It really should. NFL Today, 50 years old. Let's go to Norris in Michigan. Hey, Norris.
Hey, good afternoon. Man. Good long time no talk.
Thank you, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to discuss the MVP race. It's a fun little nugget that it's been floating on. I don't know if you saw it, but it's actually hilarious that if you drop it's not hypothetical, but if you drop Cal Raleigh's OPS on the season by 150, 160 points, he'd be around league average. If you drop Judge's by the same amount, he would be Cal Raleigh. So I think, obviously Cal Raleigh has the counting stats of the home runs and RBIs, but, after that, it stops right there. Judge leads in every other category, OPS, OPS plus, average, the walk rate. He has double intentional walks as Raleigh. I mean, everything points in Judge's favor. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but Judge getting injured, and you have to factor in him taking a few weeks to get right back into shape, and he was also DHing, he wasn't in the field. So a lot of it comes into play, and that's probably most likely why Raleigh has the counting stats advantage. But I mean, Judge has just been better in every facet of the game. Raleigh's the catcher, and that's the most important defensive position on the field, and he helps out a lot in that point. And, he is a Platinum Glove winner, although I don't think it's fair to use that as part of the argument for this year. But I mean, Judge has him beat in everything else, and the records are close, and I mean, Judge is just far superior. I think the only thing that's going against Judge is that he's won 2 times in the past, and now we're seeing a catcher doing great. I mean, it's no knock on Raleigh. He's doing historical things, but I still think if you just look at it from an unbiased view. I'm a Yankee fan, so I mean, I can see why it's used as bias, but the stats don't lie. That outside of the RBIs and home runs, which come from more at bats and being walked less. Judge has him, he's far superior, actually. Not even always superior, far superior in everything else.
It's funny. I believe that, you're biased, you said, because you're a Yankee fan. I think that those that aren't Yankee fans are probably biased against Judge. And those that aren't fans of anything, they just have Yankee fatigue and Judge fatigue. I think that's what it's coming down to. Here's Raleigh's best chance for me. If Raleigh somehow finds 7 more home runs over the last 9 games and breaks Judge's record, I think he might end up getting the in-the-middle votes, the people that are straddling which way to vote. I think if he puts up a 63, maybe even a 62, then he might squeak by Judge. But that's going to be awfully tough to get 7 home runs in 9 games. Let's go to Hirsch in Valley Stream. Hirsch.
What's up, Michael K? How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I always like to talk to you. And before I get on my Judge point, I just want to share something that I know you'll love. Summer of '92, I turned 21 years old, went with my 2 best friends to the new stadium in Baltimore, Camden Yards. I was there almost the same weekend 30-something years ago. Danny Tartabull had 9 RBIs on a Sunday night. Do you remember that game, Michael?
I vaguely do, yes.
So it's just a kind of circle of life. I'm on the Jersey Turnpike right now with my 15-year-old son, Maxwell, who's a diehard Yankee fan, diehard Michael K fan. We are headed to the Baltimore for the next 3 days. And I just thought you'd appreciate that, knowing what a baseball savant you are, and I know you were there back in '92, and I hope to let Maxwell see you and wave at you somewhere up there tonight, or if we can see it all, it'll be pretty awesome.
Well, I hope Maxwell has a great time. It's a great stadium.
Yeah, I love it there. So my point about Judge is, and listen, I'm a diehard Yankee fan since 1977. I guess I was 6 years old. I love the Yankees. I love Judge. Heck, I was mad when they didn't have my favorite player, Dan Pasco, win the MVP. So believe me, I'm not anti-Judge at all. I think if Cal Raleigh winds up with 60 homers, 120 some odd ribbies, obviously playing catcher, the Mariners are a good team. I think you have to give it to him. I know, and again, I'm not looking to argue with you. I'm just telling you my feeling on it, that I won't have a problem if Judge finishes second.
Well, I think Hirsch, that there are numbers that you could rest your vote on when it comes to Raleigh, and that's the home runs and the RBI. So how much are you going to put import on those numbers and ignore the other categories where Judge beats him by a lot? So if you're a home run and RBI guy, you're going to vote for Raleigh. And the amazing thing to me, watching Judge, people say, well, since he hurt his elbow, until recently hasn't been Aaron Judge. And it's even before that. So it was about a month and a half where he was just average. And then you look up on September 19th and you look at his numbers and they're extraordinary. That's with a dead spot of a month and a half in there. Now, before he went off on this little run again, Raleigh I think for a month and a half was hitting like 190. So even the greatest players, it's a long season. It's 162 games in 180 days. People get tired. People go into slumps. And I think that both of these guys have had it. Let's go to Anthony in Williamstown. Anthony.
Michael, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm great, Anthony. How about you?
Not bad. Thanks for asking. Hey, long-time listener. Missed watching the three of you guys on Yes, but glad I found you on YouTube. My question today is, I'm watching the game. I don't think it was the last game against the Twins. It might have been the middle game. The Yankees had the shift on. There was a ball hit to the left side. I think McMahon went to his left, made the play, but wasn't able to get the out on first. And I was wondering if there's been any studies on whether or not the shift works more often than not. I mean, because if the shortstop was playing his position, we would have gotten that out. And I don't know how many times, balls hit to the second base side, the shift is on, ball goes through to the outfield. Do you know if there's ever been any studies or anything that shows that the shift actually is successful more often than not?
Anthony,
thanks for taking a call.
Of course, they're constant studies. That's why they do it. I mean, if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. I once brought that up to Boone. If this guy was here, he said, you know what, everybody brings up when it doesn't work. He said, you know how often it works? You know how many hits it takes away? So you're going to bring out the outliers where it doesn't work. Well, if the guys were in their regular position, that would happen. He said, but if the guys were in their regular position, like in the old days, you know how many more hits the other team would get? So you say, has there ever been studies? They're constant studies. They're constant analytics. Every single day, the computer spits out, what's the likelihood of this guy hitting the ball here? All right, he hits the ball here 90% of the time. Let's move this player there. Studies. I mean, so many computer readouts, so many analytics and algorithms. Of course, there's constant studies. It works tremendously. And you know why we know it worked tremendously? Because Major League Baseball outlawed the shift, the extreme shifts. The shift turned Mark Teixeira into a 240 hitter. Before the shift, he was a 320 hitter. Of course the shift works. It works too good. That's why you can only have two infielders on each side of the second base now. The shortstop could cheat a little, but it can't be right behind the bag. Why? Because it works too well, and it kept offense down. So, yes, there have been studies. Well, the NFL's coming. You've got your crew, your couch, your snacks, your slate, and FanDuel is coming in with something extra. This isn't just another NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop, and now we're making it even better because this week, FanDuel's bringing the bonus. That's right. Right now, all customers get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back with something extra in your account because that's what Sunday should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com/K to download the app and get in on the action before kickoff. 21 plus, physically present in New York, opt-in required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
At Garden City Mazda, discover more about what moves you.
Our fall kickoff savings start now. Don't miss out.
Our inventory of new and Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Embrace every unexpected turn with the new 2025 Mazda lineup. Refined performance. Spacious interiors to fit your life. Elevate your driving experience.
Garden City Mazda. Exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
Well, the right mattress helps you sleep at night. The right price helps you sleep even better. Hi, it's Michael K. I trust my friends at PC Richard & Son. They're local, family-owned, and listen, they won't just sell you a mattress. Their experts walk you through a 4-step fitting process so your bed actually fits you. Now, that's what I call service, which is kind of their thing. Get top brands like Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, all at the guaranteed lowest prices, plus fast and free delivery. Sleep better with PC Richard & Son, the local company that you can trust. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up, excludes Manhattan.
Schweppes, the iconic ginger ale of New York, is proud to sponsor the PGA of America. Schweppes has a deep lineup of ginger flavors, including raspberry, white peach, dry grape, and also available in zero sugar. With every sip of Schweppes, the dedication to quality, excellence, and the art of tastefulness will leave you feeling simply refreshed. It's a hole-in-one for all your drinking occasions. Schweppes, a sparkling tradition since 1783, and the perfect way to elevate your summer. Swing by your local ShopRite and grab some Schweppes.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters. But those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with a full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955 and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is coming, and things are heating up.
We genuinely really get along with each other.
I don't even think Peter watches sports. You could make the argument that Rick doesn't get enough credit for being a low-key fraud. Carlin's going to be at this Couchcast, too, so we got to make sure we have a lot of cannolis.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is Monday night, September 29th. See it all unfold on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Brought to you by the All-American Ford Auto Group, Calandra's Bakery, and Jacob's Pickles.
It's time for my two-pack for sure. First 2 weeks, 0-2 the first week, 1-2 last week. So we're starting to turn it around. Because this is the time on a Friday where I try to give you some money. If I make good picks, you could make some money. If I make bad picks and you pick against me, you could make some money. It's really up to you. I'm like the Aaron Boone in this equation. Blame you. You're the player. 2 picks. That's my 2-pack for sure. First pick. New England won an exciting game against the Dolphins. Everybody's going Drake May nuts. I think he's a fine young quarterback. But in a game like this, I'll take the fine old quarterback. That's Aaron Rodgers. A mindless mistake. A mindless mistake. Where the Pittsburgh kick returner let a ball bounce into the end zone, resulted in a touchdown. That's one of the reasons they lost that game. So the Steelers are going to New England, and they're giving the Patriots 1.5. Give me the Steelers. I'm still not sold on the New England Patriots, and I think the Steelers are going to get better as the season moves along. Their defense has not been what we thought it was going to be, but I think they could stop New England, and it's only 1.5, and since I think they're going to win the game, all they have to do is win by 2. That's one. Second pick, Raiders at Washington. Washington, 3.5-point favorites. Now, the Raiders have a bad secondary, so it doesn't matter to me if Jaden Daniels is able to play, although I'd like that. Marcus Mariota is a pretty good quarterback, pretty good backup quarterback. Raiders also have a tough travel schedule. Tough travel schedule. You know, they just played Monday night, long trip. So give me Washington. I think the Commanders are going to win that game by about a touchdown. That's my 2-pack. Give me the Steelers. I'll give 1.5 to New England. Give me the Commanders. I'll give 3.5 to the Raiders. One other game that I was thinking about going with, the Rams at the Eagles. Eagles 3.5-point favorites. I was going to take the Eagles because all the Eagles do is win. But I'm going to shy away from that one. As for our local teams, this does not count in the 2-pack for sure. I think the Giants will be able to stay close in the game on Sunday night. And I don't think the Jets will stay close against Tampa Bay. And if they lose that game against Tampa Bay, I'm told now Daniels has been ruled out, so it will be Mariota for sure. But if they lose that game against Tampa Bay, we're looking at another really tough season. We really are. Another really tough season. So I hope you enjoy the 2-pack for sure. Hey, golf's greatest rivalry tees off at Bethpage Black. And the guys are bringing you all the action, energy, and passion straight from the course. Don't miss DiPietro and Rothberg next Friday morning, only on ESPN New York. And it's brought to you by our good friends at Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. All right, I want to give a little plug to my buddy Don LaGreca. His first game as the television voice of the Devils will be Sunday. And I remember in 92, my first game with John Sterling on the radio for the Yankees. This was my dream. I remember how nervous and anxious I was. And I'm sure that Don's feeling the same thing, although he's older. But this is something that he has wanted and hoped for his entire life. And he has earned this opportunity, and he is going to be absolutely tremendous. I am so proud of him. And this will be the first of many games and many years where he is the voice of the New Jersey Devils, where they're really going to be a good team. So listen on Sunday during a commercial, I guess, during the favorite football game that you're watching, and listen and watch MSG to hear Don on the Devils calling their exhibition game. Love that man. Let's go to Gene in Boston. Gene.
Hey, Michael. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Looking forward into the playoffs for the Yankees. Who do you think the X factors are? One in the lineup, one in the bullpen, and one in the rotation.
Well, I say the X factor to me for the whole team is the bullpen. So if you want me to specify, Devin Williams has to be what he's been the last couple of times out, and Luke Weaver has to return to what he was. If they could get those two guys straightened out and consistent, and that leads you into David Bednar, I feel much better about the Yankees advancing in the postseason. In terms of a wild card in the lineup, I'd say it would be Volpe. Volpe had a really good postseason last year, and if he could have something that approximates that, that's an added bonus to what you're going to get from the top guys anyway. And in the rotation, whoever starts that third game in the wild card, if the Yankees end up winning the division, they won't have to worry about the wild card. But whoever starts that game, if they could give a good performance, whether it's Schlittler or Heel, to me, that would be the wild card in the series. So those are the three wild cards. But if you ask me for one wild card, the Yankee bullpen will dictate whether or not they go back to the World Series. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg coming up next. Been a great week. I thank you once again. We'll be back again on Monday at 1. So much to talk about. The baseball over the weekend and the football as well. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Hey, shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live.